Let me tell you something simple, yet powerful. Success doesn't begin in the boardroom. It begins in the bedroom. The moment your alarm rings at 5 a.m. When the world is silent, when the sky is still dark, leadership begins. Most people say, "I'll start when I have more time." But true leaders don't wait for time. They create it. They wake up before the excuses wake up. The 5 a.m. leader. Challenge isn't about being a morning person. It's about proving to yourself that you can decide who you are before the world tells you who to be. When you wake up at 5 a.m., something magical happens. The noise of the world disappears, and the voice inside you finally gets a chance to speak. That voice, quiet but powerful, whispers, "You were made for more." But let's be honest. The first few days are hard. Your body rebels. Your mind says, "Go back to sleep." And that's the exact moment where leaders are born. You see, success never shouts. It whispers. And only those who wake up early enough can hear it. Think about it. Every great leader you admire, from inventors to entrepreneurs, from athletes to artists, they all share one thing: discipline. Not luck. Not talent. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. And every morning at 5 a.m., that bridge is waiting for you to cross. In the first week of the challenge, you don't win the morning. The morning wins you. You stumble. You yawn. You question yourself. You look in the mirror and see tired eyes. But those tired eyes are the beginning of something beautiful. Growth. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from consistency. It comes from doing what others won't. So later, you can live how others can't. When you rise early, you discover the rhythm of leadership. It's not about commanding others. It's about commanding yourself. A leader who cannot lead themselves, cannot lead anyone else. And every sunrise becomes your training ground. Some mornings you'll write your goals. Other mornings you'll reflect, exercise, or just sit in silence. But each morning you'll build a foundation, brick by brick, of an unstoppable mindset. Because leadership is not about control. It's about clarity. And clarity is born in quiet moments before the noise begins. Let me share something with you. When I started my own journey, I was not the smartest person in the room. I was not the richest or the fastest or even the most confident. But I had one advantage. I was willing to start before I felt ready. That's what the 5 a.m. challenge teaches you. You don't need to be ready. You just need to be awake every morning. You'll feel that battle between the comfort of the bed and the calling of your dreams. And the side you choose determines the kind of life you'll live. Because every time you hit snooze, you're not just delaying your morning, you're delaying your potential. So, on day 1, you wake up tired. Day 3, you wake up frustrated. Day 5, you start questioning, "Why am I doing this?" But on day 10, something shifts. Your body adapts. Your mind sharpens, and you start to feel proud. Not because it's easy, but because you've stayed. Consistency is stronger than motivation. Motivation starts the engine. Consistency keeps it running. People often ask me, "Jack, how do I become unstoppable?" And I say, stop stopping. Because most people don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they quit too early. This challenge is not about mornings. It's about mastering the moment when you want to quit. At 5 a.m., no one's watching. There are no likes, no followers, no applause, just you and your choices. And in that silence, you discover your strength. You'll notice something else too. When you win your morning, you start winning your day. Your thoughts are clearer. Your actions are more intentional. Your energy becomes magnetic. And slowly, something changes inside you. You stop chasing the world and start leading it. So, the first chapter of this journey is not about transformation, it's about awakening. Awakening your discipline, awakening your courage, awakening your belief that you can become the kind of person who follows through. Remember this, the sun will always rise. The question is, will you? The 5 a.m. challenge doesn't promise success in 30 days. It promises progress in 30 days. And that progress will make you unstoppable. Because what happens next is where the real transformation begins. You've survived the first wake-up call. Now comes the harder part, turning those early hours into power hours. The question becomes, what will you do with this time you've fought for? And that leads us to Chapter 2, Building the 5 a.m. Leader Mindset. You've made it past the hardest part, starting. Now, it's time to rise higher. Most people can wake up early for a few days, but few can turn it into a lifestyle. Because leadership is not built in a day, it's built daily. When you wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, you're not just gaining hours, you're gaining clarity, you're gaining control, you're gaining momentum. These 30 days are about more than just mornings. They're about designing a life that matches your vision. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? Because the 5 a.m. Leader Challenge is a mirror. It reflects your habits, your discipline, your heart. Now, you begin each morning with purpose. You journal your thoughts. You move your body. You plan your day. And slowly, you start to notice. The world hasn't changed. You have. You handle stress differently. You respond instead of react. You begin to lead, not from ego, but from example. People around you start to ask, what changed? And you smile, because it's not something they can see in a mirror. It's something they can feel in your presence. That's the mark of a true leader. Every great transformation follows the same pattern: struggle, discipline, growth, impact. You struggled to wake up. You built discipline through consistency. You grew in mindset and energy. And now, you're ready to make an impact. So, what do unstoppable leaders do at 5 a.m.? They learn, they read, they strategize, they visualize, they build before the world wakes up to take. Because by 9 a.m., most people are just starting their day. But you've already created momentum. You've already led yourself. Leadership is not about leading people. It's about leading your time, your emotions, your focus. And the earlier you master your mornings, the faster you master your life. But here's the secret. No one tells you. There will still be bad days. Days when you oversleep. Days when motivation disappears. Days when life hits hard. And that's okay. Because success is not about perfection. It's about perseverance. Every morning you rise again. You rewrite your story. You remind yourself that progress is greater than perfection. The 5 a.m. challenge isn't a test of your alarm clock. It's a test of your belief. When you can lead yourself through the dark, you'll be ready to lead others through the storm. After 30 days, something shifts forever. You stop counting days because the challenge becomes your identity. You no longer say, I have to wake up. You say, I get to wake up. You no longer need motivation. You've built momentum, and that's what makes you unstoppable. So here's my message to you. If you truly want to change your life, don't wait for a miracle. Set your alarm. Wake up early. Face the quiet and start building your legacy, one sunrise at a time. Because at 5 a.m., there are two kinds of people. those who sleep through their dreams. And those who wake up to chase them. Be the second one. Be the leader. Be unstoppable.